So I asked myself a question tonight as I was watching the Knicks versus Nuggets game, and as the Knicks made their fourth quarter, not exactly comeback, but a really impressive run in the fourth quarter, my thought kind of became, can this team win a title? And the answer, I think, is actually yes, which is something that I probably would not have said about this team last season. I just think the ceiling was capped, but I truly believe the additions of Karl-Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges have put this Knicks team in position where they can legitimately win an NBA title. I truly believe that. I think this team has reached the point where they are 100% capable of beating any team in the league in a 7-game series. Now, is that a likely outcome at this point? Probably not. Is it an outcome that I think is only possible for 6 or 7 teams in the entire league where they could theoretically win the title? Yeah, probably. And I think the Knicks are absolutely in that top group. I'd say they're a top 5 team in basketball right now and deserve to be on that top tier of real contender. Like, there are a couple other teams that if things go perfectly for them could probably make a run at a title. Like if the Mavs were to get fully healthy, I think there's an argument to be made that they have a chance. If Houston plays to their best potential in the playoffs, they have a chance because how good they are defensively and the emergence of some of their young stars. But at the end of the day, it's mostly felt like it was Cleveland, Boston, and obviously Oklahoma City as the leading team. But those 3 teams all season, I think we're getting to the point where the Knicks are absolutely potentially a 4th team in that mix. Like this team, the defensive versatility that they showcased tonight against Jokic and the Nuggets was really impressive. And it was one of those things that just felt like it closed down this game for the Knicks, was how good they were defensively. Offensively, there have been no concerns this season. I mean, Jalen Brunson had an incredible offensive game tonight. 10 of 16, 36 from 3. He goes 30 points, 15 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block, only 2 turnovers. They started the game with 16 assists to 0 turnovers and finished with a 33-5 assist to turnover ratio as a team tonight, which is better than 6-1. Absolutely incredible stuff in terms of protecting the ball, making good decisions, and playing as a team. That is elite. And it leads to OG Anunoby with a very efficient 5 of 7, 9 of 15 from the field, 5 of 7 from 3, I should say, 23 points on plus 15. Mikal Bridges does not have an efficient night shooting the ball, 5 of 16, but still 3 of 7 from 3, and his defense was great. He's been really, really good defensively lately. It's a type of guy who, I'll be honest, I was kind of low on to start the season. I didn't think he played very well to start the year. And you know what? Maybe I just wasn't patient enough, because he's really coming into his own as of late on both ends of the court, in all honesty, and it's been a real impact guy. Josh Hart, by his standards, only 5 rebounds, 5 assists, is actually a little bit of an underwhelming game, but his effort and intensity is clear every night. He's one of the most efficient players around the rim in the league as well, which is very impressive. And just their starting 5 is incredible. Karl-Anthony Towns does a legitimately good job on Jokic. Jokic was very neutralized tonight, 6 of 15, 3 of 7 from 3, 17.6 rebounds, 6 assists. I mean, he played like 9 minutes in the entire first half because he got 2 fouls in the first 2 minutes. But either way, the Knicks did a good job of neutralizing him and making him work tonight. He was a -3. And I just thought as a whole, it was really a phenomenal job by the Knicks in a lot of different ways. Well, the thing that I was most impressed by, in all honesty, was how well they rotated and recovered for each other down the stretch defensively in the 3rd and 4th quarter. They were down 8 relatively early in the 3rd quarter, and from that point on for the rest of the game outscored the Nuggets by 18 and really locked in on the defensive end of the court after a rough start to the 3rd quarter. They did a great job, number one, of running this Nuggets off the line, and shots that the Nuggets did get from the 3-point line were contested, and they shot them at 36% still, but only 28 threes attempted tonight. I thought they did a really good job of making things tough for the Nuggets in terms of getting good looks from 3. And then after running the Nuggets off the line, they did a good job of rotating behind, contesting, and playing good defense. It was just unselfish, high-level defensive play tonight, and that's going to be key for this Knicks team, because everybody knows they can score. I mean, they have one of the best 5-out rotations that you can really play in basketball, and their one flaw as a team probably for this season is the fact that they don't really have a giant big. Like, Karl-Anthony Towns is a great player, and he's a big. I think honestly, the idea that Cat is soft is kind of an overrated narrative, and honestly kind of an untrue one. I think people have taken his voice and clips and images of him from earlier in his career and kind of developed a narrative that Cat's soft. He's not a good defender, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like he's a great defender, but he is a great rebounder, and he is a very, very high level player across the board. I'm a big fan of Karl-Anthony Towns, and I think he's been amazing for the Knicks. Absolutely absolutely what they needed this year, and I think is underrated and underappreciated on the defensive end of the court as well. And adding him and Bridges to a lineup that has been this good without them is huge. Deuce McBride with another really nice performance off the bench tonight, 12 points, 5 and 9, was a +9 as well in 22 minutes. And I mean, I do think adding Mitchell Robinson back into this rotation will be nice. Precious Achiuwa has been good, but Mitch gives you that rim protector, physical lob threat type big man that certainly is an archetype of player that this Knicks team doesn't really have right now. And I think adding him back into the rotation here at some point will be huge and really good for this team. But even as is, they're so good offensively and just so versatile offensively too, to where if it's not somebody's night, let's say, I mean, Brunson's averaging 26 a game and shooting 40% from three, 53% from inside the arc. But if it's not his night, it's probably Karl-Anthony Towns' night. And if it's not Karl-Anthony, it's Karl-Anthony Towns' night, who again, incredible efficiency, 58% from inside the arc, 43% from three, then it's probably going to be Mikal Bridges or OG Anunoby or Josh Hart's night. Josh Hart, one of the most efficient players around the rim in the league this season, with a 66% shooting inside the arc. Mikal Bridges 61%, so he's been great as well. And OG Anunoby, 58% inside the arc, 35% from three, averaging 16 a game in his own right. They have 5 real offensive weapons in their starting lineup, and that provides a ton of versatility because it might not be one guy's night, and that is totally fine. And even Deuce McBride, campaign coming off the bench, shooting the 3-ball well. Even Precious Achiuwa has been efficient, even if it is on low volume from outside. It enables them to maintain real high level spacing and just continue to play high level basketball as a whole. And even a guy like Landry Shamet, who has not played a ton, 16 minutes, 11 minutes a game, is finding himself more and more in the rotation as of late. He didn't play a lot tonight against Denver, but he's another guy with some real playoff experience and another interesting, capable role player who might be a real contributor to this team at some point down the stretch of the season. If somebody gets hurt, having a guy like Landry in the back pocket could be a really useful piece as well. And I do think if they get Mitchell Robinson healthy and maintain pretty much great health outside of that, and can be a fully healthy roster, it's going to be a really tough matchup for any team because they have so much defensive versatility and switchability. Not to mention they space the floor so well and are so elite offensively. And now that they're coming together, I think at a higher level on the defensive end of the court as of late, they really become a scary team because, I mean, obviously the numbers demonstrate that they're one of the best teams in the league on the offensive end of the court. Second best offensive rating in basketball, a net rating that is top 4 in the league, but their defensive rating for the season is only 13th best in basketball. Like, it's not great, but I think what they've done really well as of late is they've been defending their butts off, and they were really good defensively tonight. And you combine that with an efficient offense that doesn't turn the ball over a ton and shoots the ball at a high level and has just so many different options in terms of spacing and the dribble penetration ability, obviously, of a Jalen Brunson, but the athleticism of a Josh Hart, of an OG Anunoby, of Mikal Bridges. Like, this team is really good. And if I was the Celtics, I mean, they're only a game back of the Celtics. Let's just be totally honest right now. If the Celtics were to lose the 2 seed to the Knicks, that would become a really tough series for Boston in the second round of the playoffs. And look, the Cavs have been great this season, but they're only 5-5 in their last 10 games. They also look like they're cooling off a bit as of late. They've been so efficient shooting the ball all season that it was kind of due for a certain amount of aggression at least, and that has happened lately. And I think it's something that you absolutely have to keep in mind when you're looking at this Knicks team, is that their biggest competition, the Celtics, have struggled more than expected. The Cavs are starting to struggle more like what people thought they probably would, at least to a certain extent, and they're only a game back of the Celtics for the 2 seed in the East as well. There is 100% a path for the Knicks to be the team that makes it out of the East. If I was predicting the Eastern Conference right now, I'd still probably lean Boston, despite all their struggles. I think I would, but the Knicks have won 5 in a row. They're playing great basketball, and I don't see why they couldn't be that team to make it out of the Eastern Conference. They have the star power, they have the versatility, they have the floor spacing, they have the defense, and especially we saw that tonight. Like, this team's good. They're really good, and they need to be taken very seriously. Hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. Be back with more NBA content very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.